Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to yet another session of the Sunday Soul Food. So, basically, I'm going to speak about buying old stuff, okay? Buying some antique stuff and what kind of an impact it can have on our lives. And why I chose this subject, because just yesterday there was a client of mine who came here, and I'm going to get into his story. Okay, before I'm going to tell you what is it all about, and then after I'm going to get deeper into his story. Okay, so basically what happens is that many of us are very attracted to old stuff. For example, for me, I am a die-hard fan of antiquities. I just love all those old things. Yeah, so I'm going to speak first about mirrors. If you go and if you get mirrors from an antique place or some kind of old mirrors, be very careful. No matter how beautiful this mirror looks, how beautiful it is as a decoration piece, just feel, first of all, feel for yourself. Okay, look into the mirror and just see what you feel. What is the first impression that it gets? You'll say, oh, I look handsome, I look beautiful, that's really nice, and with this beautiful mirror. But excuse me, look at it like, you touch it and try to look at it. And what do you feel inside of you? Just try to feel your own energy, your own vibration towards this mirror that is in front of you. We need to take real care. I mean, in today's world, mostly what we do is we buy new mirrors. But many a times what happens is that when I bought my house, what happened is that this house came with mirrors, okay? The mirrors were fixed on certain places. And when I used to sleep in a particular room, that night I was not feeling very well. I wasn't waking up feeling really, refreshed and nice. I used to feel very drained and tired. So I said, maybe most probably it is because, when you shift to a new house, you have to take care of a lot of things and to arrange it, and then you feel better after some time. But it continued for months. And then after that, I realized that there was something in that room, and that was something related to the mirror, because all the other things I had changed, everything else, but the mirrors, as they were encrusted or stuck to the doors, I couldn't remove them, so they were there. And whenever I was sleeping, it was creating a kind of an energy reflection on me. And then I started probing more into this subject. I was like, there is something about mirrors. First of all, you should never sleep with mirrors in your bedroom. That is the first thing, because what happens is that there is a lot of reflection of energies that take place. Secondly, when it is something which was belonging to somebody else, like my house was belonging to somebody else, it was there since maybe 40-50 years. So what happens over here is that those mirrors have absorbed the energies, and those mirrors will reflect that energy. So if there were people who were happy in this place, who lived happily in this particular house, and whoever was in this particular room was using this particular mirror, and maybe if that person was happy, well, I will feel happier, or I will not be affected, okay? But if somebody who was very much sick in that room, and if the person has been suffering and this person was regularly looking at that mirror, what is happening is that we create our own, it creates a kind of an amalgam, okay? Because as we all are energy beings, we give energy also to things, as I have spoken in my earlier videos. So what happens over here is that the person who was not fine looking into a particular mirror gives that energy to that particular mirror. And what is mirror? It is something very important. And why? Because we look at it for our reflection, right? So what happens is that when we look at it, it gives us our reflection. But if this mirror in this particular place, for many years, it was looked into by somebody who was most probably agitated. So what happens is that when I sleep, I get this agitation energy on me and I cannot sleep after. I don't feel fine. So what do you have to do is that you need to be very careful. So this is where I would like to tell you also about this client of mine who came. We spoke a bit, and then he told me, he said that I have been given a very beautiful cupboard by a friend of mine. And I said, okay. And he was like, this cupboard is too beautiful and it has a mirror inside and things like that. He described the mirror to me. And I said, do you have the picture of it? And he said, no, I don't have the picture, but I can send you. So I said, I would really like to see the picture of that particular thing, that particular piece of furniture you're speaking about. And he continued. I said, can you please tell me? Because when he was speaking, I was somehow getting some certain perceptions, my chakras, I could feel some things. I said to him, this was coming, this is something of an antique piece, right? So he said yes. Then I said, since it is in your house, you don't feel fine, is that what you want to tell me? And he said, exactly, this is why I have come to you, he said. And he told me is that since that particular cupboard is in his house, nothing went fine with him. Nothing. So he said, I thought that maybe I should not put my cupboard over here. So I moved it into another room and then to another room. But all these 7 years I have it, I have got 2 broken marriages. Things were completely a chaos. And now my job is in a mess. And I said, can I ask you something? I said, I feel you have kept things of your work, whatever the important papers of your work and files in this cupboard, am I right? And he said, exactly. And I said, yes, there is a bad energy with this, because I could just feel inside of me. And I said, this comes from a very, very old place. And he was like, yes, it comes from a very old place. And I said, can you just tell me the person, because I felt a kind of a feeling of loneliness inside of me when he started speaking about this cupboard. Even if I had not seen it, I put my attention on what he was saying, and I felt that loneliness was there. And I said, this cupboard belonged to a very, very lonely old person. And he was like, yes, he was a bit surprised. And I was feeling the heaviness of this thing that this person was trying to tell me. So actually I was absorbing the energy of what he was telling me about this particular cupboard. And then we came to the conclusion is that this cupboard was infected. Yes, our furnitures which we buy in second hand, not in the sense second hand means something extremely old. Sometimes what happens is that from generations to generations the furnitures come, right? Like for example, from my great-granddad, my granddad had this particular sofa or a particular chair which was his favorite chair. Then from him it came to my father, then from my father it would go to my brother, or I would take it. So what is happening is that from generation certain things are passing on. It can be your mirrors, it can be your furniture, it can be the jewelry. But I need to tell you, my dears, something that you need to be very, very, very careful about is that when you receive something like that, know the history. Know the history of these things. Many a times the history is not available. Like for example, when I got certain things in my house, I just didn't have any clue of where it was coming from. It was just like, wow, like for me it was such a beautiful piece. But I was like, for me, it's, yeah, at times I go a bit, in the risk taking, which is not good. I know that, but I am too curious. So I picked up this stuff and I got it home. And that was the worst night of my life, because this particular painting on the silk cloth, which was on a very beautiful golden frame, it was so beautiful because it was mother and child, and I was immediately attracted to it, and I just wanted to see where it comes from. But that night I kept it in my bedroom. I slept with that and I had the worst night. I dreamt as if I was having a big fight with my mother. which never happens. Of course, some arguments, but here it was really like I was screaming on my mother and she was screaming on me, and it was so terrible. And after that, I dreamt as if I was in this kind of an antiquity and vintage market, and over there I saw that, like as if I was taking things, and there was a very big mirror in my dream where I was, just looking at it, and then I pick up a kind of a dress and I'm just trying to try it on me in front of this mirror, and I have some kind of kind of a strange image behind me. It's like, and I look back and there is nobody in my dream, but I see the image there, and I still take it and I do that. And then just a young girl passes from there, and I ask her, well, how much for that dress? And she's like, oh, I can give you for whatever price you want, it belongs to my mother. And I was like, yeah, really? And where's your mother? And she said, oh, she just died last week, so we are selling off all her things. And there was this frame that I had bought. There in my dream, there was this frame that I had bought in my house that was in my room. And she was saying, oh, I never liked my mother. And everything was clear to me the next morning. So actually, this is what I would like to tell you, is that whatever you are getting, be it from, it can be a inheritance, okay? It can be something that comes from a kind of a specific vintage market. It can be that somebody has gifted something to you. Know the vibrations of that thing, otherwise you can mess up your life with it. Because this particular gentleman who had come to my cabin for consultation, he was in a big mess, because he said, I just cannot stay in my house now. There is something which repels me. The moment I see this cupboard, I am scared of that cupboard, he said. So how can you be scared? And he said, I don't know. I'm scared of that cupboard, he said. You know what? Just send me the picture of that cupboard. I would really like to see. And I tell you after that, because right now I got the energies of the thing. And then he goes home, he takes the picture, he messages me, he texts me this picture. And then when I saw it, I was like, I just called him right away. I said, please tell the people who, carry the old furnitures to take it and destroy it somewhere. I could see that this was not fine. This was not something, it was infected, I would say. Because sometimes what happens is that some people, they like something very much when they are on this earth. But when their time comes and when they have to go to the other dimension, some people can be so materialistic that their soul doesn't want to leave a particular thing. And it can affect the people living in that house. Some people can go crazy in a particular house which is bought with old furniture, or even houses also. So my message to you today is, beware of things that you get. No matter, we feel nice that we are getting it for a good price, it's not very expensive, but what can happen, my dear ones, is that sometimes in disguise you are getting something that can ruin your mental peace, because positive and negative energies clash. If you are somebody who is very positive, the negative energy can make you drained, can make you tired. Some people even fall sick whenever they go in a particular house, whenever they are using a particular ornament. For a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, I was given. I have to tell you this. I know somebody there is telling me, enough, so much you're going to speak and tell them. 10 minutes are over, stop it. But I need to tell you this. I'm not going to listen to, okay? I'm not listening that side, okay? I'm not looking there. I'm going to continue this. I have to tell you this. I received this very beautiful pendant, okay? I had received it from a relative, a very distant relative. This pendant was of yellow topaz and extremely beautiful. I still have it, but I don't wear it. And the moment I used to put it, I used to get headaches. I was not feeling fine. I was feeling completely drained in energy. So I was feeling, most probably it is the yellow topaz that I am, not supporting well properly, things like that. So I removed the yellow topaz. I replaced it with something else, and then I put it again. again the headaches again. So I said, no, but I'm okay with pearls. I never have a problem. I've been wearing pearls since very long now. And I was getting this. And finally, one day, I got on the phone with this aunt and I asked her, can you just tell me where this, where did you buy this wonderful locket, this pendant that you gave me with the topaz, the yellow topaz? And she said, oh, it was my grandmother's. And she was like, it's your grandmother's? And she said, yeah, but, we had this jewel shop. You know what happened in this jewel shop? It closed down. So we had all this. So this is why, like as a family member, I passed it on. And I said, yeah, and this belonged to your grandmother, you said. And she said, yes. And I said, how was it like? Because it was a very distant relative. So I said, how was your grandmother? She said, oh, she was having a lot of problems of health and things like that. She was never fine. She was very depressed and all. And I was like, okay, thank you for telling me this. And that was the time I realized that I had caught the energies from those times. The soul had passed away, but the energies had stayed stuck to that particular thing. So before you wear that ornament, before you buy that lovely piece of furniture that you like, before you buy that antique looking beautiful mirror, before you buy that wonderful old painting, my heart goes out to paintings. I would still like to buy it, but it's a risk. So before you do all that, just feel the energy of that particular thing, the moment. And yes, the second thing is that if at all, like I took the risk of getting something in my house and then facing the brunt of it, if at all immediately you realize that there is something not okay happening, the moment you get that particular thing, I need to tell you, get it out of your house. Just go and, better not to give it also to somebody. Why to give that negative energy to somebody? Instead, it's better to be destroyed. Just throw it wherever they destroy certain things. Yeah, do that. Yeah, because there are energies in the objects. No matter how much scientific I can have my head on one side, but now I have learned to believe, to realize that everything has its proper energies, because as a child I was conditioned to be always scientific and logical about things, but now over the years I have realized that yes, there are problems, there are big problems that are attached to things, and we need to take care of that. There was a friend whose car was also zinxed, where whoever drove that car, always accidents took place. So we would say, oh, every time the driver cannot be at fault, every time, so today that car is in that particular town, it stays there, nobody uses it, they wanted to give it for free to people. My friend, he wanted to give it for free, no one wanted it. The reputation of car was known throughout my town in India, and today that car stands still there. So the bottom line is, before you buy something, feel the energy. Take it in your hand, close your eyes, feel the energy. If you wear something which is old, which belongs to somebody, you don't feel fine, remove it and put something which belongs to you, because whatever you are using, it has the energy. This is why when some people are holy people, we feel like taking some kind of memento from them, or even a kind of a flower that comes from a holy place which has been blessed by a holy incarnation on this earth. You feel nice about it, but the moment you go to negative things, even if it is a poor innocent flower, it also has absorbed the energies of that particular place. So my dear friends, my loved ones, please, please, please take care whenever you get something. Just know that everything is energy, and just know that you have to protect yourself. And I'm saying this because in this month especially, as this month began, I was feeling that this month one has to protect. I don't know, in my meditation, I just felt as if the divine was telling me, we need to protect, you need to protect, you need to protect. So I don't know if it was for me, for everybody else, but I would like to pass it on, because I feel we need to protect ourselves from negative energies. And how do we protect ourselves? Through meditation, through prayers, through spirituality, through Mother Nature. Okay, so please do that this month. And yes, tomorrow starts Diwali, so all my friends in India and everywhere in the world, I wish you a very happy Diwali. It is the festival of lights, so let the darkness of ignorance and negativity and negative energies be removed, and may prosperity flow in everybody's life. So thank you very much, and I'm going to see you next weekend. So please do like, share and comment, and take good care of yourself. Enjoy all the sweets from my side too, because here I don't get Indian sweets, but I'm going to try something in the kitchen. How can I tell you how many kilos I've put on after? So take good care of yourself, and see you next Sunday. Bye bye. Take care. God bless. Bye.